how did this all start? Like, when did you start dancing? Because I don't think I've ever asked you.
A lot of people don't ask me that, I think.
I already know the story, but please.
You want to tell it?
No, not at all.
Okay. So I grew up in Las Vegas, and I started dancing because my cousin was a competitive dancer when she was 8. And I was just at her house a lot. I was always going with her to the competitions. I was going with her to all of her things. Like, I grew up watching the competitions that I choreograph for now, which is really cool. And so one day specifically, she had a bring your friend for free. And that's literally how I got my foot in the door to a dance studio.
To go to class?
Uh-huh. It was my first class ever.
How old were you at this
8.
time? 8. Okay.
Yeah, so I remember her saying, oh, it's like bring a friend for free week or something. Do you want to come with me? Because I think, my parents, I never like tried to do dance on my own, but I just knew like I wasn't in any sports. I feel like they couldn't afford it at the time. I wasn't put into anything. So by the time I asked, they were able to do it. And I had like my one it was a hip hop class. It was my first class ever. And I remember just being like, whoa, like, where has this been?
Were you dancing before that?
Years? No.
Huh.
I didn't do anything before 8 years old.
Okay.
Was I dancing in the house? Yes. That's how I felt like I knew I wanted to do that. I remember watching the competitions and looking up there and just being like, I could do that. Like, I could do that. I want to do that. But not really know. It was just kind of this thing that my cousin did. I didn't know that there was an open door. I didn't know that I could go find a studio and do it too. She was doing it since she was like really little. So she doesn't remember a time where she wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Whereas I was so aware. At 8 years old, I went in that class and I was like, this is so fun. I love this. And then I signed up for my one hip hop class a week at 8 years old, and started taking it a little more seriously when I was like 12, 13. And then kept going. Here I am.
I know.
At 21.
Oh, man.
But then, so when you were you went to the dance classes, right? Like weekly. Mm-hmm. Did you ever think about like, this is what I want to do? Or was that just like a hobby for fun for you?
I knew at 8 years old what I wanted to do. I remember having this awareness, and I tell my students, I tell the little kids that I teach, like, there are some kids that say they want to do it. And I remember when I was younger, just people making sure I always had a backup plan and telling me that it's not a real job, or it's not going to be supplemental, or whatever the things that people would say. But I do remember having this awareness because before age 8, I wanted to be a teacher. Like, I wanted to be a school teacher. I was like an only child, so I would like read books to my stuffed animals. I would like pretend I was teaching all the time. So I think I wanted to be a teacher. And then when I got introduced to like dance into my life, the older I got, I realized like I wanted to be a dance teacher because I was like, I love this more than I love school. And as I got older, I began to not love school at all. I loved school as a kid. And then as it got harder, of course, I stopped. And then I was like, I just want to go to the studio. Like, I would wait.
Academics just isn't really for everybody.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
I didn't enjoy. I loved teaching, though. I was like, wow, I want to teach. I remember also, too, like 9, 10 years old, watching music videos, learning the choreography in the music videos.
Missy Elliott.
Rewinding it, pausing it, like seeing a pose that they're doing and being like, how did she do that? Like, pushing my couches to the side when my parents went to work. I'd be like, oh, thank God. Like,
I remember those days.
Dancing in the living room.